Okay, so today we're going to talk about the past simple tense. The past simple tense is used to talk about things that happened in the past. It's used for actions or events that have finished. So with regular verbs, it's usually formed by adding ed to the infinitive of the verb. So walk would be walked, look would be looked, help would be helped. So here's some examples. I walked to school yesterday. Or, I helped my mum do the shopping last weekend. Or, I looked at the pictures in the art gallery on Monday. So can you change the following sentences into the past tense? Number 1, the children play in the park. What would that be in the past tense? Yeah, so number 1 would be the children played in the park. Okay. Number 2, they laugh at the joke. What would that sentence be in the past tense? They laughed at the joke. Number 3, she talked to her friend on the phone. What would that sentence be in the past tense? She talked to her friend on the phone. And number 4, the family watched TV after tea. What would that one be in the past tense? The family watched TV after tea. Okay, so some verbs are irregular and we just need to remember them. They don't end in ed. The verb to be is the most common irregular verb, both in the present tense and the past tense. Okay, so I am, you are, he, she, it is, we are, they are, in the present tense. In the past tense, I was, you were, he, she, it was, we were, or they were. Now, some other common irregular verbs in the past tense are have, had, do, did, go, went, see, or saw. So these verbs are the same for all persons. I went, she went, we went, I did, you did, we did, I saw, she saw, we saw. Okay, so there are many more irregular verbs in the past tense, and we'll have a look at some later. But first of all, can you change these sentences to the past tense? So these are all irregular verbs. So see if you can change them into the past tense. So number 1, we go to the cinema on Friday. What would that be in the past tense? We went to the cinema on Friday. Number 2, I have a blue car. What would that be in the past tense? I had a blue car. Good. Number 3, I am very sick. In the past tense would be I was very sick. Number 4, James is a maths teacher. Would be James was a maths teacher. Number 5, I do my homework after lunch. Would be I did my homework after lunch. Number 6, I see some birds in my garden. Would be I saw some birds in my garden. Number 7, we are very tired. Would be we were very tired. And number 8, you are a good student. Would be you were a good student. Well done. Okay, so here are some more common irregular verbs. And as I said before, we just need to practice these and just try and remember them. Okay, so say in the past tense, said. Make in the past tense, made. Take, took, know, knew, tell, told, feel, felt, write, wrote, run, ran, sit, sat, speak, spoke, read, read. So notice that those two words are spelt the same, but we pronounce them differently. So read, present tense, past tense, read. Fall, fell, drive, drove, lose, lost, break, broke, buy, bought, choose, chose, wear, wore. So back to regular verbs. Now, as I said before, usually they end in ed, but not all of them. Some of them just end in d, or some of them end in ied. So verbs which already end in e only need a d ending. So verbs such as like, love, hate, live. Example, I lived in New York in 2000. Or, I liked the film last night. So verbs which end in y need to end in ied. Verbs such as carry, hurry, marry, or tidy. Now have a look at the sentences. What happens to the y? I married my husband last year. He carried the heavy bag all the way home. What happens to the y? Yep, so we don't need the y in the past tense. We take it out and we replace it with ied. Okay, so have a go at this table. Write the past simple forms of the verbs in the correct column. So we've got the first column is just a d ending, second column ed ending, third column ied ending. So have a look at the verbs at the bottom and see which column you think they belong to. So your teacher can pause this part of the video for you to do that, and she can start it again when it's time to look at the answers. So I'll do the answers now. So repeat would be repeated, ed. Worry would be worried, ied. Finish would be finished, ed. Start would be started, ed. Phone would be just a d ending, so the first column. Call would be called, ed. Visit, visited, ed. Marry would be ied ending. Hate, just a d, hated. Arrive, just a d, arrived. Look, looked, ed. Ask, ed, asked. Cleaned, ed. Decided would just be a d. And tidy and cry both would have an ied ending. Okay, well done. So when we use the negative past tense, we use the verb did plus not plus the main verb in the present tense. Of course, we can shorten not to didn't. Okay, so I didn't go to college yesterday. I didn't see my friend at the weekend. So notice the words in red are in the present tense, and the past tense verb that we use is did. Okay, I didn't go to college yesterday. I didn't see my friend at the weekend. So can you change these sentences into the negative? So number one, I went to the park on Wednesday. So look at the verb in green. How would we change that into a negative past tense sentence? So number one, what would that be? I didn't go to the park on Wednesday. Number two, what would that be in the past, in the negative past tense? I had my dinner at 6 o'clock last night. So that would be I didn't have my dinner at 6 o'clock last night. Number 3, I saw my mum at the shops yesterday. So that would be, I didn't see my mum at the shops yesterday. Or number 4, I gave my brother a present. Would be, I didn't give my brother a present. And number 5, I did my homework at the weekend. Would be, I didn't do my homework at the weekend. Okay, good. So we've looked at regular verbs, irregular verbs. We've looked at negative past tense sentences. So what we're going to do now is I'd like you to listen to a story and see if you can note down the past tense words. Okay, so I'm going to read you a story and I want you to listen really carefully and see if you can spot past tense words. So you might spot a regular past tense word, you might spot some irregular past tense words, or you might spot a negative past tense word. Okay, so see what you can hear. So I'm going to read you a story. Okay, hello everyone. So last weekend Jane went to London. She travelled by train. The journey was around 2 hours. She arrived in London at 10 a.m. on Saturday and walked to her hotel. She unpacked her luggage and then decided to go for a walk around the city. First, she visited the Tower of London. After that, she went to an Italian restaurant for lunch. Her meal was delicious. After lunch, Jane went to the British Museum. She enjoyed it very much. Jane was tired after this, so she went back to her hotel and she had dinner there. On Sunday morning, Jane went to the theatre. She saw a show. She had lunch at a Chinese restaurant. After that, she went to the train station to start her journey home. She didn't want to go back to work on Monday. Okay, so did you hear any past tense words in there? So I'll give you time to go through those with your teacher. So in that story, there were 20 past tense words. Okay, so your teacher can stop the video, but I'll go through them with you now. Okay, so went, last weekend Jane went to London. She travelled, so travelled is a past tense word. Was, the journey was 2 hours. She arrived in London. She walked to a hotel. She unpacked her luggage. She decided. She visited the Tower of London. She went to an Italian restaurant. Her meal was delicious. After lunch, Jane went to the British Museum. She enjoyed it very much. Jane was tired after this, so she went back to her hotel and she had dinner there. On Sunday morning, Jane went to the theatre. She saw a show. She had lunch at a Chinese restaurant. After that, she went to the train station to start her journey home. She didn't want to go back to work, so we've got a negative there to finish with. Okay, so there's 20 altogether. So did you get them all? Yeah, well done. So the last thing I'd like you to do is just to write a few sentences about a special weekend that you've had. So try and use some regular, irregular verbs. So maybe you had a party one weekend, or you went to a party, or maybe you had a nice walk somewhere, or you went to a different place. Maybe you could write about that. Or maybe you just saw your friends at the weekend. So any type of special weekend that you want to write about, Okay, but remember to use some of those regular, irregular, and maybe a negative past tense verb in a sentence as well. Okay, so thank you everybody and well done. Bye.